So don't think we're just making this up. But even with Protestantism, guys, where they'll say, not all, but some of it, you're saved by grace through faith. Okay, yeah, that's fine, right? We're good. But now you have to maintain your salvation. And this is what
absolutely you do.
I used to believe. This is what a lot of Christians believe. But I just want to ask you honestly, and we're going to give you a ton of scripture.
And also faith has works built into
it.
It's pistis in the Greek. These guys, they are screen recording, video saved. That's the end of part 1. This is part 2.
64:6, right? Our works are equivalent to filthy rags.
It's not your fault, man. It's the pastor's fault. Actually, I mean, the fact that he memorized it comes right off the tip of his tongue. Isaiah 64:6 is arguably the most twisted verse in all of Scripture. I wouldn't call it the most wicked verse. You could make a case for it. And by the way, there's 3 types of hatred in the Bible. There's unrighteous hatred, which we're called not to do really at all, ever. 1 John 3:15. There's righteous hatred, which we're called to do, and that's what God does with his hatred. Ecclesiastes 3:8, Psalm 97 verse 10, Proverbs chapter 8 verse 13, Psalm 5:5. These are great verses on hatred, righteous hatred. If it's better than righteous rest. Hating the devil is good. Hating Hitler, Stalin, Mussolini is good. Hating the LGBTQ plus community is good. Hating the Democratic Party is good. Okay? Righteous wrath, hate evil. That is good. Make sure, anyways, justice is good. Proverbs 27 verse 5, Proverbs 28 verse 5, Proverbs 21 verse 5, Proverbs 17:15. Sorry, Proverbs 21:15, Proverbs 17:15. Okay. And then the other type of hatred is called hierarchy hatred. And that is found in Luke. It's found in Matthew 10:37. Okay. If you do not hate your family, you're not worthy to be my disciple. Now that type of hatred is not used as often, which is why, and I knew that when I know that when I use the word and when I use it in context. When I say wicked Bible verse or I hate this Bible verse, I'm not talking about hatred 3. But I know people are stupid. They don't know definitions of words. They don't know context. They don't know sarcasm. They don't know jokes. They don't know anything. And they want to hear things the way that they want to hear things. I'll destroy this temple, build it up in 3 days. Well, is he talking about the physical temple? Maybe, but it's Jesus. He talks in parables. He was a little weird, a little odd, Hate your family. People today, they read that. Wow, I have to hate my family? No, he's talking about hatred number 1, not hatred number 3. 1 Timothy 5:8 tells us to love our family. You must love your family. The 5th commandment is to honor your mother and father. Okay? 1 Timothy 5:8, if you don't provide for your immediate family, you're worse than the pagans. You've denied the faith. How do you get out of that verse if you're a hypergracer? Free grace, you could probably spin it a little bit. It's not talking about salvation, something like that. You'll be destroyed temporally, physically, I don't know. But hypergrace, I don't know how you get out of that one. You've denied the faith. Anyways, the hatred of family is a hierarchy hatred. So when I say I hate a Bible verse, obviously it's hatred too for the bad interpretations of the verse. The righteous who watch my videos obviously know that. But it's also hatred number 1, which is hierarchy hatred. If there's 31,102 verses and I have them ranked from best to least, the best is the one that wins the most souls. The worst is the one that wins the least amount of souls, let's say. It doesn't win any souls. It's some random verse and, you would think it would be some random verse in the book of Numbers or the Old Testament that has no value. But there are doctrines of demons, obviously, created from Bible verses, the address of the verse itself. 1 Timothy 4:1, Jude 1:4. You don't think the devil knows Scripture and can twist it out and ram it into Joseph Prince's mouth? One of the original hypergracers, your future sins are forgiven ye today. Your unrepentant sins are forgiven already. He really opened the door to a movement. That guy has over 1 million subscribers. You got Steven Anderson. He probably has more Greek words memorized than me. He claims to read the Greek just the way James White reads it, almost. That's what he claims to do. But he could beat me at the Greek. He could beat his kids. He's a great guy, Steven Anderson, He's basically a taller, funnier version of Casty Campbell, and he's such a sweetie, too. Casty Dead Faith Saves Campbell, if you guys want to look him up. I would love him to be a righteous clown for Christ one day. He certainly qualifies. He's funnier than a woman. I'll tell you that. People think women are funnier than Casty Campbell. That's not true. God gives jokes to men. He gives laughter to women. God does not give listen, with God all things are possible. The funniest woman comedian is slightly funnier than the below average men, But you could say that about sports too. But I think women are an abomination. I just wanted to macro that. I'm a male chauvinist, sexist, misogynist. And I just think women are more beautiful and they're more precious, but that's about it. Maybe they're better nurses. Yeah, better nurses. There's some value. My rib. That's what I said. My rib. Anyway, we got a little bit off track here, but that's the end of part 2.